What's up YouTube? It's your boy Lowpes and welcome back to another video. Today we'll be working on Alex's 2015 Audi S3 and we'll be installing a turbo inlet and we'll be doing a turbo muffler delete. We can hear these beautiful sounds of this 2.0 turbo engine and hear this a little more whoosh type of noise. So let's get into it. Let me show you what's up. Guys, so if you haven't checked out, we've installed a intake on this car. It's a CTS turbo intake. Go check it out. I'll leave the link down below if you want to check it out and see how much of a difference it made than stock, which it made a pretty good difference. So today what we're going to see is if the turbo inlet will actually make a power difference or a sound difference, and I'm kind of excited to do that. And since we're doing the turbo muffler delete, it should even sound better, so the car should be operating better and sounding better. So Alex's car is Cobb tuned. He has a stage 1 map from EQT for his motor and his transmission. So the transmission actually shifts better, shifts quicker, and it's pretty much more responsive, and it can actually handle the power. So now we're just going to tackle this. It's pretty easy to install. So since we already had the original intake, it was literally those two clamps holding it down and this screw right here pretty much holding it. And now we're going to take off the turbo inlet. So what we're going to do right now is take off the intake box here. This basically creates a cold air effect once the hood is closed. If you rev your car with the hood open, it sounds absolutely amazing. Once the hood is closed, you don't hear it as much. So I'm very intrigued to know if this is going to make a better difference. All right, Alex, show our amazing viewers here what you got to do to remove the turbo muffler.
So this hose, you gotta just loosen this bolt, and then you got a clamp on the back here connected to the turbo. You just loosen this clamp here, and then you wiggle this pipe loose and pop it off, and then you got 3 bolts over here, or number 8s I think they are. I'm not sure.
We'll check once we get. Yeah, we'll check once we get into it. It's kind of hard to show you guys because it's a really tight space, but we'll show you once the pipe is off, and you can see exactly what we're talking about. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to remove the turbo inlet, and then we'll have some more space to access the turbo muffler. What you're going to have to do is remove a Torx bit T30 there, and I think it's just one bolt that holds it in, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you got to twist it.
And then what you're going to do is push the turbo inlet upwards and outwards this way, and it basically locks in from not a mechanism, but like a kind of a groove.
Like a channel.
Yeah, almost like a channel or a groove. So Alex is going to take that out, and then we're going to push this turbo inlet up.
Just like this.
Upwards. And then towards the driver's side of the car.
And then it should pop out.
There you go. And then you'll have a hose that attaches to it, which I think is a PCV hose there that you're going to remove. And it just pops right off pretty easy. Yeah. And now looking at it, we have a lot more room to work in this area here. And yeah, I think, honestly, I'm very intrigued to see how much more or how much better this car sounds with an inlet and a turbo muffler delete. We've removed these clamps here. It's pretty much like the charge pipe that connects to the turbo. And now what we're gonna do is, it wants to focus in, this over here, you're gonna have 3 bolts on this piece right here, this guy right here, and you're gonna remove that completely. You're gonna replace it with this pretty much, and I guess it's just an open design. So we got the whole CTS intake system, inlet pipe, and turbo muffler delete, which is all going to be routed all along here. So connecting that piece of the turbo muffler is going to be 3 number 5 Allen keys. So what you're going to do is either get an Allen key or get a socket with an Allen key on it, and you're going to remove it. That's what Alex is tackling right now. Then I'm going to show you the OEM piece in comparison to the actual aftermarket CTS one. So this is the turbo muffler, and it basically muffles the turbo noises. And who the heck would want to muffle beautiful turbo noises, Alex? Let's see the comparison between the two actually. So this is the CTS one, which is a straight through design, and I think it's almost like a billet design, and it's actually pretty nice. And then the OEM one here, it's a straight through design, but there's some holes that release some air through the sides, so you probably don't get as loud of a surge sound or an induction noise because it's almost like it's leaking. But there's obviously, you know, a point to this, but we're going to be replacing it with this lovely piece right here, and I think it's going to make a bit of a difference. Definitely a different design, but this has been tested and proved, so let's get it. Alex is almost done putting the coupler back on. We've put the new turbo muffler in, the CTS straight through design one, and now he's just putting the coupler that connects that with the charge pipe. It doesn't seem like a hard job, it just seems like it's a very tight area, so it's a little bit of, you know, messing around and doing that, but we're almost done that. Once we're done that, we will be doing the turbo inlet, and then we'll be going for a drive and getting some noise comparisons. So after we're done the turbo inlet, I'll show you guys the rev comparisons between stock, just a CTS intake, and then a CTS inlet, turbo muffler, and intake, and see if there's a surge difference between the, you know, just the intake and these two or not, and see if it sounds any better. The turbo muffler is in. It is right around here. It's hard to see just because it's pretty deep in the bay here, but now what we're gonna do is do the turbo inlet, which sits in these grooves and these channels right here, and then we'll connect it to the intake, then the intake box and filter, and then we'll basically see how this is sounding and performing. So what we're gonna do is loosen that little bracket over there, and I'm excited to put this in. If you guys watched our intake video, you can see that we had intentions of installing this, but one of the gaskets ripped and Alex replaced that gasket, and now it is good to go. So it's actually better like this so that we can actually see if there's a difference or not. Now to reinstall it, you're just going to basically do the reverse motion of what you did last time.
And it's done.
You just get right in one shot?
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier than the OEM one, definitely. Because we struggled a little bit with the OEM one for a little bit, no? So now you're going to basically mount it, put that existing bolt back in, and so that you can hold it. I've been doing a little too much Borat impersonations.
And you can hold it.
Alrighty, so we are all done. Hey, you think it's gonna sound any better?
Probably.
You think it's gonna be louder?
Yeah.
100%? Yeah. We'll definitely be able to tell after I compare all the clips. So Alex is gonna give it a cold start, let it warm up just a bit, and then we'll give some revs. Crazy. I think it's louder. I think it's louder, man. Holy. Yo. Damn, this is loud. Okay, so guys, just note that when you're driving, you're not gonna hear that much noise, just because once you close the hood, you kind of, you'll hear it more, but you don't hear as much as you'll hear right now, just because this will kind of close it in and, you know, muffle some of the sound, but it's definitely a lot louder. All right, so we're inside Alex's car right now. See if there's any difference in sound or anything. You hear it a little bit. Definitely a big difference once you close the hood. So what's kind of nice about it, it actually makes, you know, probably a closed box air effect where the hood closes and it does that. You hear a little bit, you kind of hear a little whistle noise coming from that turbo once it's once you put your foot into it. But does it feel any faster to you? Kind of same, right?
Kind of same.
It's probably like butt dyno, yeah. You know. You probably get minimal horse, but like once you do the intake with everything together, it's definitely a nice difference.
Like the intake with the inlet and the muffler and everything should be like 10 horsepower, but you have to be tuned too, right?
Yeah.
But you'll gain the benefits of it for sure, 100%.
Yeah, actually, the car moves really good for what it is, mind you that. Jesus, man, you can hear it though. Yeah. You can hear the surge a little better now, right? Yeah. I'm very sure if these intakes sat within like the bumper, like most Hondas and cars, like those cars, you'd hear even way better. This car does a good job of muffling sound. You got to remember, there's a lot of insulation in these Audis and stuff. But yeah, you definitely hear it a little better. But the car, honestly, like, it's instant power. It feels so good. As soon as you put your foot into it, we just freaking move, man. Like, the torque and everything is like, oh, Jesus Christ. Holy, yo, I know it's a little dark, you guys probably can't see, but yo, this car moves so good and it's instant power. And honestly, the transmission, I know it's not manual, but this DSG is actually pretty good and pretty impressive. The shifts are fast and crisp, and these mods are making a difference, and Alex is slowly modding, slowly, a little bit at a time, and we're just gonna get faster and nicer, definitely. The first gear in this is like nuts. Like the first gear feels like so good. The low end torque, the low end torque on this car is insane. Me gusta. Buddy, like we're like there to here in like a very short period of time. This thing moves. This thing moves really, really nice.
Like it's instant pickup.
Jesus, man. Yo, this car is fast. I honestly think, guys, that this would beat the 10 Gen. The 10 Gen's upgraded turbo and all this crazy stuff. I think this would beat it. The pickup on this is nuts. The only chance I think I would ever have is if we did like a highway run. Maybe I might be able to keep up with my, you know, the horsepower numbers there, but honestly, this is a fast car and it just picks up so quickly. Crazy. All right, so was it worth it?
I guess so. I guess the overall outcome of everything.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's nice to hear a little bit of like a sound coming from it. But
yeah, like I said, these cars do a really good job of like muffling and, you know, doing sound insulation. So that is one of the reasons you don't hear it like crazy, and because of the design of the box. It's good that you don't hear, because at least you know that that cold air, you know, box is actually doing something, right? But yeah, definitely a fast
You'll
car.
hear more, I'm sure, like when you're in person versus the camera. But
yeah, you hear more in person, definitely. But like once we opened that up, you guys saw that there was a big difference in sound. Once we had the hood open, you can really hear it. But the car's coming along. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Alex. If you guys like the Audi content, make sure you comment down below some Euro content. It's an S3. It is badass. It's going to get faster and it's going to look better. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Do it once, do it right.
peace.
Later.